Welcome to this third part of the introduction to destination marketing. Now we are going to look at destination competitiveness. What makes a destination competitive? So, destinations and especially destination marketing organizations exist to make destination more competitive, compare better to their uh, comparative destinations in other countries, in different parts of the country, and the destination marketing organizations and their marketing activities should contribute to destination competitiveness. In the competitiveness discussion, we have two different kinds of advantage. We either have comparative advantage or competitive advantage. Uh, how I like to understand this is that all destinations have certain kind of resources available for them. Some destinations have fantastic beaches, some destinations have local culture, others have safety, some have beautiful mountains. All of these provide comparative advantage compared to other destinations. But comparative advantage is not enough. Comparative advantage has to be developed into competitive advantage. Even if you have huge beaches, your tourism industry might not be competitive compared to some other countries or destinations with much smaller, much less accessible beaches, for example, unless you develop the tourism industry. And this development leads into competitive advantage. It is something that the destination marketing organization, it is something that the local tourism industry does. It develops comparative advantage into competitive advantage. And there are many different kind of organizations working in destination marketing and developing destination competitiveness. We have convention and visitor bureaus, regional tourism organizations, state tourism organizations, national tourism organizations, and even multinational tourism organizations such as European Tourism Board. All of these have different agendas and different focus points in the destination competitiveness development and marketing. The main idea on destination competitiveness is, of course, to generate bigger positive local economic impact. The more competitive a destination is, the better it's from the economic impact perspective. But we also have to remember that marketing is only one small part of competitiveness. What the tourism industry and destination marketing organizations do have only limited impact on competitiveness. There is so much else that is affecting the competitiveness of a destination. The price level of the destination, accessibility, where it is located geographically, also accessibility within the destination, quality of service, the environment, presence of natural wonders, United Nations World Heritage Sites, history, culture. There is a lot of things affecting the competitiveness that the tourism industry cannot have direct influence in. But what tourism industry can do is to take the strengths of the destination and turn them into competitive advantage. And for example, Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Report is a fantastic source for you to look at what is the national destination competitiveness and what are the different aspects of how that competitiveness is measured, how to increase the competitiveness of your national destination. So that is a good source that you should definitely take a look. So the destination marketing organizations has several goals to develop destination competitiveness. For example, they want to have an effective market position. They want to be positioned differently in the marketplace so that there is no other destination occupying the same market space. DMO also wants that the tourism businesses within the destination are profitable. Profitability is one of the main um, drivers of tourism industry. Without and development, without profitable tourism businesses, there is no tourism development. DMOs also want to make the destination easier to access. One huge job for DMOs is to open public transportation routes, negotiate with airline companies, negotiate with bus companies, and all of these different kind of things to make destination accessible from the outside, but also within. DMOs are also building attractive physical environment, trying to find investments in physical environment that would increase the competitiveness of the destination. DMO is increasingly responsible for positive visitor experience. As mentioned in the previous video, the visitor experience is dependent on many different aspects within the destination that individual businesses have very little control over, but the destination and the DMO especially should understand what is the visitor experience that the tourists coming to our destinations have. Of course, the DMOs want to keep ongoing investments in new product development running. The destination needs to develop all the time. And this is kind of like egg and hen phenomenon that in order to develop tourism in the region, tourism needs investments. Of course, nothing happens without investments. But then on the other hand, for the tourism destinations to get investments, they need to be developing. The investors are much more interested in investing in destinations that are already growing. So one of the main goals for the DMOs is, from the tourism destination development perspective, is to create growth for the destination in order to attract more investments that then turn into more growth. But there are some dangers in this strategy that we are now witnessing all over the world, for example, in the case of overtourism, and that the carrying capacity of destinations is at its limits because of continuous investments in the product development. Some could even argue that the investments have not been placed correctly because of this continuous development and growth aspect that has been the major thing in driving investments. Another huge thing is cooperative tourism industry. Cooperation in tourism is probably more important than it is in any other field. Tourism businesses that work together create much stronger tourism destinations than those destinations where the businesses are not in tight-knit networks and clusters with each other. So one of the DMO goals is to support and drive this cooperation between different industry members and stakeholders in tourism. And again, now with the over-tourism, we are putting much more emphasis on the fact that we need supportive local residents for the destination. Why destinations are marketed? It is for the well-being of locals and the well-being of tourists. And both of these measurements have to be satisfied in order for the DMO goals to be met. Tourism should have a positive impact on the life of the local people, and thus the DMOs are mostly responsible in following that this is indeed the case. And again, how the DMOs are organized in different levels is one of the goals of DMO. We want to have an organization that does the right things, and we will be looking more closely into that happens later on during this course. So this is a brief overview of the destination competitiveness.